All right. Welcome back to What's Going On, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I am your co-host, Dorothy Dorton, AARP Alabama's Associate State Director of Outreach for Lower Alabama. And as always, I want to welcome back our true expert and my co-host, Terrence, with Victory Teaching Farm here in Mobile. Hey, Terrence.
Good morning.
Good morning. I also want to thank Terrence and last week's co-host, Ann Hales, for another great episode while I was actually in a cabin in the woods with my family. So thank you both for that, because I had some nice rest and relaxation, and I'm happy to be back at it. So as this holiday season quickly approaches, which it seems like it's just speeding up these days, and I need it to slow down because I've got
next week.
Next week, I know. Can you believe it? A lot of us are really looking for some meaningful, creative, and budget-friendly gifts, especially with, deliveries not being very reliable sometimes and things like that. We might need to pull something together real quick for someone. And so that's what we're going to be talking about, is gifts you can make that come straight from your garden, or that are really easy to get from the grocery store if you need to. So, and what I always want to say too is, remember that if you have any questions about what we go over today, or if you have any questions about, at-home gardening in general, please put them in the comments, and we are going to do our best to get to those at the end of the broadcast. If we don't, we will address them on our next show. And also, I'm going to pop up Terrence's email real quick. So please feel free to email Terrence with any questions. If you have episode ideas, if you have a question about, again, at-home gardening, container gardening, anything like that, please reach out to Terrence. Again, put them in the comments. And of course, remember that we're going to show you some great slides today. And we will put all of those slides in the comment section on the Facebook page after the show. So don't worry about that. You'll have, yes, Terrence.
I was just going to say, and so right now, since we are kind of in the planning phases for next year,
Yes.
If there are some subjects that are really burning that people want to learn about or see about or hear about, now would be the time to send that in, since we're kind of in those planning phases. So
Absolutely. We are going to be picking back up in January. And so look out for that on our Facebook page. But we want to know what your ideas for some shows are, what you need to know, what you want, some topics you want to talk about. I know we had a great topic that we'll probably address at some point as an episode about, making a community garden for your community and things like that. So
an accessible garden, that was another topic.
Yes, so making an accessible garden. So that's another great topic that we would love. We're planning on covering in an episode. So please send those in to us. We'd love to hear them. So today we are talking about gifts from the garden. And so, Terrence, can you tell us a few of your easy faves from the garden that you want to go over real quick?
Well, I mean, these are really easy to do. You've already got the fresh produce, so you can get any kind of little cute basket or even just a gift bag, and just pick that produce and make just a bunch of, a bunch of greens with some, if you've got root vegetables or whatever, you can throw those in there. You can do the same thing with herbs and just make a bundle, as you see in the picture. You can tie them with a pretty ribbon. You can also put them in a gift bag. And then living herbs. You can actually, a lot of our herbs we can separate and replant, and you can do that, or you can even just buy live herbs from your local garden center, put them in a pretty pot, put a bow on it, and you're done. I mean, easy peasy. It's something that they will get use out of beyond just Christmas Day. And so those are kind of some of my favorites because they're really, really easy to do.
Awesome. And I'm going to show this picture on the title page again, Terrence, because these are actually some ideas that you did last year. So can you tell us about what you did here?
Yes. So this was back in the day when we used to be able to do in-person workshops. And so this is a workshop we actually had at the farm. And as you can see, it might be a little hard to see, but you've got your jars. with your living herbs. And we just used mason jars, which are beautiful. Stuck a bow on them, put some living herbs in there. There's some pots with one I think is greens and the other is rosemary. Just put a pretty Christmas bow on it. And I went and just purchased some little snowy pine cone ornaments and hung them on the rosemary, and it looks like a little Christmas tree. And then you see you've got the Christmas gift bags, and they're just overflowing with beautiful fresh greens and a candy cane. And just very, very easy to do, and people love. We actually gave these away as raffles at that workshop, and everybody was really excited to win one of those prizes.
Awesome. And Candy Williams commented that those are cute and she loves them. So we do too.
Good.
So that's great. So basically we're next we're going to talk about some of the supplies that you need, just some of these easy, simple supplies. So Taryn, can you talk about these supplies real quick?
Yeah, so jars or bottles. And like I mentioned, you can use mason jars. You can get them in bulk at some of your big box stores. Even some of your smaller local grocery stores carry them. You can order them offline. But any kind of jar or bottle, you can even save old pickle jars or pepper jars or olive jars. And they are typically the same thing as a mason jar for the most part. And you can even save those jars, and then, it's a little more economical. You don't have to actually go out and purchase. It takes a little bit of pre-planning to save those jars, but you can do that. Baskets or boxes, same thing. You can find these pretty much anywhere. And then just ribbon or twine. And, a lot of us already have the ribbon and the twine on hand just for Christmas to begin with. So, a lot of these things you may already have on hand. That you can utilize, for those gifts from the garden.
Perfect. And I actually happen to know, because it's one of my favorites, is the local dollar store has all of these things. So you can get these things for, a very low cost. And like you said, jars, that you have, from peanut butter or pickles or anything like that, you can keep. So perfect. All right, so now we get to the really fun deep dive of some more of these great ideas. So we're going to talk about hot sauce. So delicious, easy hot sauce. So Taryn, tell us what to do with the hot sauce.
Okay, so actually, and I have a jar here that I'll show y'all in just a second, but this is one of the easiest things to do. And you can actually buy the peppers at your local grocery store, or if you're like me, you're trying to pick those last bit of peppers from your summer plants before it really, really freezes, at least down here in the south part of the state. But you just need peppers, and any kind of hot pepper will work. Cayenne, Tabasco, jalapeno, habanero, serrano. It just depends on what your preference is. And a lot of these peppers come in a variety of colors, so you can kind of fancy up the color of the pepper sauce. White vinegar, just regular white vinegar, salt, whatever bottle you decide to use, or jar, whether it be a mason jar, whether it be a repurposed jar that you already had, and then of course some ribbon to decorate. You do always want to use gloves when handling hot peppers, because even the oils in the pepper, even after, and my husband and myself have learned this through experience, unfortunately, when handling the hot peppers, even after you wash your hands with soap and water, some of the oils can still be on your skin. And the last thing you want is hot pepper on your skin, and then you touch your eye or your nose. It's not a pleasant experience at all. But
if you have a cut on your hand or your finger, even a little cut, you'll find that out real quick. So
you will. Any kind of cut that you weren't aware of, handling those peppers will definitely bring that to your attention.
Right. So wear some good gloves.
Yeah. So, and the process is super simple. You're just going to bring your vinegar and your salt to a boil, and then just of course, wash your peppers and your jar, and you're just going to stuff them down in the jar. You pour that hot vinegar and salt mixture over the peppers, seal the lid, and it does take, a few days. The peppers start to infuse into the vinegar. several weeks, you've got some really potent pepper sauce, which is a fantastic thing to put along if you were giving someone a gift of greens, a big basket of greens, a jar of pepper sauce. Everybody loves, or not everybody, but lots of people love that pepper sauce over your greens or your black eyed peas on New Year's. So that's actually a good combination gift that you can kind of put together, the hot pepper sauce and the greens.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, and I just popped up there, let the peppers infuse for a few days and before trying. But that's a great idea, the greens. And, that's perfect for Christmas and New Year's because you have to have your greens for New Year's, right? So
we definitely need those greens, those black eyed peas. We definitely need those this year for 2021, don't we?
Oh my gosh, we need so many for 2021 because let's face it, we need a good year. All right. So our next one, and this one's probably, I don't know, a lot of these are my favorites, but is the herb butter. Tell us about herb butter, Taryn.
Yeah, so this also is easy. You just need a stick of salted butter or unsalted. It's your preference, and it also depends what you're going to use it for. If you're making this for yourself or if you're going to give it away, it depends on, it's essentially just, again, your preference. Chives, rosemary, cilantro, thyme, basil, those are my favorites. And your supplies are easy again, just wax or parchment paper. You're just going to mix your herbs, chop them up real fine, like you see in the picture. And you're just going to mix them into room temperature softened butter. And when we talk about room temperature, it's funny. I watched the video last week with Lori B with the cookies, and she was talking about room temperature butter. And that room temperature does not mean melty. Room temperature means, a little bit of give to the touch, a little squishy.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So you're basically just going to mix that all up. You can mix it with your hands. You can mix it with a spoon, whatever you're comfortable with, but just mix those herbs right into that butter. Shape it into your parchment paper or wrap. You can roll it if you want to with the material. You can create a block and wrap it like a present. It's whatever your preference is, but the butter is going to be able to be molded in whatever shape you want to. And you're just going to wrap it up, put a ribbon on it, and refrigerate it. And you can pull it out. You can use it as a spread on crackers or on hot French bread. You can use it to cut off and throw a chunk in with some freshly cooked pasta to kind of have an herb pasta. There's a lot of uses for it. But yeah, it like you said, Dorothy, it probably is one of my favorites because it's so easy. It's so simple. And you can do so much with it.
Yeah. And another thing too, that I just thought about, I've seen it where some folks have taken their herb butter and put it in those little silicone kind of ice trays that are different shapes. Like we have some of the little ice trays that look like, rubber ducks because I have little kids, but that would be so cute to do, for if you had some like little Christmas shapes or something like that. But yeah, I mean, this is just so simple and fun and you can do so much with it. And
we have oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Alice McHugh actually contributed a little garlic and a pinch of sugar will improve it too. Absolutely.
I think she's talking about the vinegar, the hot peppers. I think. Alice, if you're talking about hot peppers.
She's talking about the hot peppers. You're right. It just, I didn't see the message until we got to the butter. But
that's okay. But that's what I was going to go back to. But I think I would agree that would probably be really good in the herb butter too.
I agree too.
So that would be great. But yes, that's going back. And did you, real quick, going back to the hot peppers, you have an example that you made, right, of the hot peppers?
Yeah, let me make sure.
See how simple that is? And it's so pretty. It's red and green, so it's great for the holiday. Just stick a bow on it and call it done.
On top. You can use a Christmas label like you use for your gifts. Some of the office supply stores and the big box stores actually sell printable, they call them canning labels, but you can customize them and make them their own, print them out and put them on your jars. But I mean, this is so simple, so easy, red and green.
Perfect. Perfect. And then we're jumping back to the herb butter. We have a few comments on that too.
Mhm.
Candy says that looks yummy. And it absolutely does.
It does.
And then Anne Hale said herb butter can be used when baking or boiling fish too. And that's a great idea because that's just real easy. You know, you just throw it on top of your fish and wrap it up and throw it in the oven. So that's perfect.
Fish. I see where people a lot of times cook their steak with a butter kind of on top.
Right.
Chicken, I think you could do it with just about anything. That's, again, like I said, it's so universal and so easy. You can have so many uses for it, and it's very, very inexpensive to make.
Yes. And this is one again too, you know, if you've got little ones like me and you're trying to get them involved, or they're insisting on being involved, like my 4-year-old and 2-year-old are, this is something that they can do too, that they can just kind of help you with. That's not, they can mix it. They can kind of help with that stuff. That's not going to leave your kitchen in, looks like a war zone. So what a great idea. What a great idea. And then Tara, looks like the next one we have, again, another one of my favorites, the infused oil or the infused vinegar. So tell us about this.
Yeah. So again, your materials are going to be your bottles or your jars. And it's kind of the same with most of this. I mean, you can use pretty much anything. You can save jars. You can buy mason jars. You can go to some of the big box stores or specialty stores, and they actually sell these olive oil or vinegar jars with the cork tops included. It's how far you want to go with it and what your style is and what you're looking to do.
Right.
But this is, again, another one of my favorites, another that's really versatile in how you use it and what you use with it. But you want to do your extra virgin olive oil, your EVOO. That's going to be your best bet for that. And then your favorite vinegar. It could be red wine, apple cider, balsamic. They all work great. Again, it's just your personal preference. And then again, the same thing with the herbs: rosemary, chive, cilantro, basil, oregano, thyme. Those are kind of my favorites. But you can use lemon balm if you wanted like a lemony kind of olive oil. You could use mint if you wanted to. I mean, really, the options are endless. It's, again, just what you want to do with it. And basically you're going to fill your jar with either, and of course, Dorothy's got on here, make sure you wash your herbs, wash your jars.
Stuff. Right. So,
but yeah, so you're basically just going to shove those herbs in the jar. You don't even have to chop them up. You can just put them in their whole. Pour your, liquid of choice, whether it's olive oil or vinegar, pour it in there, seal them up, and you're good to go. The one good thing about the infused olive oil or vinegar, the olive oil and vinegar don't have to be refrigerated. And especially with the vinegar, it kind of preserves the herbs. And so you have a pretty good shelf life with these, and you can typically tell when an olive oil or a vinegar goes bad. It'll have kind of a rancid smell to it. But I mean, you're still good for several weeks. I mean, I've had some of my olive oils that I've kept for months, and they're just fine. And the same thing with the vinegars. So but yeah, I mean, another easy, simple, you can just stick the whole herbs down in there, just chop them in, size full to fit in the jar, and just pour your liquid over and seal them up, put a bow and a tag on them, and there you go.
Awesome. That's so great. And another one that's so much fun and easy to do. And just to remind everybody, on our Facebook page after this broadcast, I'm going to post all of these in the comment section of this broadcast. So don't feel like you're missing anything. We'll have these steps where you can print them out and look at them if you need to. Next, again, another good one, salad dressing. So tell us, this is an easy one.
Okay. And so actually our previous slide, which you don't have to go back, but making those olive oils and vinegars, that, like I said, they have so many different uses. You can use them as a dip for bread. You can pour them into some pasta. Again, you can probably marinate, fish or chicken or things like that in some of these. And so the other thing you can do is make your homemade salad dressing with them. So it's kind of the same process with, well, if you're not using your infused herbs, olive oil or whatever, you can make your own really quickly. Your vinegar of choice. So basically you're going to have 3 parts vinegar to 1 part olive oil. And Dorothy's kind of got it listed, like if you were just going to do a single serving just for, your salad for the day or whatever. But then also if you wanted to make a bigger batch to have in the refrigerator for the next week or two, the good thing about this again is actually, and Dorothy and I talked about this, these particular salad dressings, again, because vinegar and olive oil don't need to be refrigerated, they can sit on your counter and keep it room temperature, because the olive oil will solidify and it will separate. But granted, if you're not comfortable doing that and you put it in your fridge, you're going to have to let it get back to room temperature, and you just shake it. Just shake it, a good bit to remix everything, because the oil and the vinegar are going to separate. But it's super easy. It's just basically adding, your vinegar and your oil and whatever herbs you want to, and shake it up and go. I mean, super, super easy. And you can, make this just for your personal use at home to make a salad with, or, as a gift.
Yeah, and Tawana Wright says light and simple recipe, and that's exactly what it is. And it is, and it's perfect with if you've already got your infused oils and vinegars that you made previously. You can just mix those together, and voila, you've got your salad dressing too. So
and you can actually take, just like we've got this very simple, easy recipe. You could take this and attach it to, give them the vinegar and the olive oil separate, then attach this recipe for the homemade salad dressing, give them some hints and tips on what they could use it for. I mean, maybe, you're making a basket, you've got a loaf of bread, you've got the olive oil, the vinegar, some fresh kale from the garden. They can use it as dipping sauce. They can make salad dressing and have a kale salad. I mean, there's endless options of how you can kind of package all of this and put it together, or combine the different things for a gift basket from the garden.
Yeah, I mean that's perfect, and you're done. And that could potentially be something for a whole family if you've got like a good little French baguette and this stuff, and throw in a bottle of wine, so if you do that, I'll be your best friend. So.
I know, really. Well, and if you think about it again, and I'm kind of focusing on this because this has been a hard year for a lot of people.
Right.
These are very inexpensive, very minimal purchase. If you've already got herbs growing, if you've already got a pickle jar where there's 1 pickle left, very inexpensive ways to gift something that is going to be used. It's not going to go sit on a shelf somewhere, be put in the attic. It's something that's they're going to use it, and it's a healthy gift. And it's fun to do. It's fun to do yourself. It's fun to do with your children, like you mentioned. You get the whole family involved. And not that I don't love a great gift basket from a local gourmet center, but like you said, Dorothy, add a bottle of wine. And then your homemade gifts and a French baguette, and you've got a beautiful gift basket, or even just a gift bag, something that could cost upwards of $100 at a gourmet center, and you've got $5 invested.
Absolutely. And it's also something too. You just mentioned that that during the pandemic and everything, it's so hard. But this is also stuff that you could get at your local grocery store and have delivered if you're doing grocery delivery. This is really easy stuff, and that you can just leave at your next door neighbor's door. Just, let them know that it's there. And it's a nice, wonderful gift to give that, like you said, inexpensive, healthy, you can easily get all of these items, especially quickly since Christmas is next week. And, that you can gift to people, that's very meaningful, so just a wonderful idea. And so, okay, so we've got our gift basket, or we've just indulged in our our wonderful, herb butter and our baguette and all of this great stuff. And we've had a great salad with salad dressing. Now we need to clean up. And I think this is really a great idea because especially with, some of those antibacterial cleaning sprays are really hard to come by because, again, the pandemic, there's a shortage. People, they fly off the shelves. So, Taryn, you have this great idea of an all-natural cleaning spray. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yes, so I use this in my own kitchen and around my own house, and I have for years and years and years. And so you really just need any type of spray bottle. You can get those at, your local dollar store. They're not expensive to come by. Or if you, you have one that you may have had a cleaner in before, like a kitchen cleaner or something, you can always clean those, rinse them very, very well. Because you're using it for cleaning anyway, you're not putting food in it or anything. So you could reuse, but buying those bottles, they're very easy to come by. So you just want a little spray bottle. Also some kind of jar. Again, a mason jar, old pickle jar, any kind of glass jar. And so basically all you do is fill it with just plain old household white vinegar. And then citrus peels. So oranges, lemons, satsumas. I mean, those are all in season. And, we're also, I think a lot of people are buying more of those just for the vitamin C to boost our immune system. Yep. But all you do is just fill the jar with the vinegar, throw your citrus peels in there. And I just stick it under my kitchen counter and I refill my jar with the liquid and on a regular basis. So you can just continue to add the citrus peels and the vinegar, and then you can just fill your spray bottle as needed. And it stays good for a very, very long time because of the vinegar. But giving this as a gift, just again, wrap it up with some, twine or a ribbon and a gift tag. And the thing about it is, it's an all-natural cleaning spray. So the citrus adds that scent. It gives you that yummy citrusy smell because vinegar can be quite potent, and not many people necessarily like the smell of just straight vinegar. So the citrus adds that. The citrus also adds the degreasing properties that you usually are looking for when you want a good cleaner for your kitchen counters or your bathroom countertops. And then the vinegar has antibacterial properties to kill those germs. So I have used this for years and years and years. It's easy to make up. It's inexpensive, and it also is great as a gift.
Awesome. So that's perfect. Like you said, the fresh scent of citrus and the degreasing power, and then the bacteria fighting power of the vinegar. I mean, it's perfect. And again, you could have a little spray bottle of that in with your basket for cleanup later, and you've got the full package right there. It's perfect.
And you don't have the harsh chemicals that you come across with some of the commercial cleaners that you buy.
Absolutely.
Again, it's everyone's personal preference, but if you wanted to go the route of a little bit more natural, less chemicals, this is a perfect thing to do.
Absolutely. So that's great. So we have a couple of more slides now, and these are really fun because these are more of like the decorative, make your house smell nice. You can also give them as gifts as well. So we're going to talk about, and I think I'm going to show this, but I think you've got some examples of this too, is the pomander balls. So tell us a little bit about this, and then we can see what you've got going on.
Yes, so this is one of my favorites. I grew up doing this.
I did too.
Did you? Yeah, I think a lot of people did. It's kind of one of those lost type things that originated long, long ago that, now you can just go buy a spray bottle that smells like this, or a candle or a Scentsy. But this is one of my favorites. And so they're called pomander balls. So you can use oranges, tangerines, mandarin oranges, satsumas, any kind of orange type citrus. So you're going to need that. Clementines. So you're going to need that. Whole cloves, which are in your spice section, easy to find. And then You can do this. I grew up doing where, and I'll show you in just a second, where you take the pomander after you've put the cloves and you roll it around in spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, pumpkin pie spice. You can do that, or you can just leave them be with just the cloves. But you're basically just punching your cloves. And if you've ever seen a clove, it has like a little, it almost looks like a little nail. Let me see, I've got one right here. I don't know how easy that's going to be able to be seen. But if you'll notice, it's got like a little head on it, and then it's got like a little pointy end. So it almost kind of looks like a nail. And so essentially you're just taking those and just poking them into your orange or your, you know, and it's very easy. It's something easy that the kids can do. You can make different designs like you saw in the slide. You can make different designs. You can even use a vegetable peeler and get fancy with it, like in the picture, and kind of make even more designs in the citrus. But basically, these cloves, now when I roll mine in the powder mixture, and it kind of seals up some of the holes because this gets juicy. Because of course, you know, poking holes in citrus, and it kind of seals up a little bit, and it adds an extra element of the spice smell to it. Yes. But these are one of my favorite, and just put them in a bowl and they just will continue to just permeate, and it smells like Christmas. And you could wrap bows around them. You could give somebody a gift bag with these in it, just for, you know. Yeah,
I was going to say, take one of those clear cellophane bags you get at the dollar store, those little, you know, treat bags or whatever, and stick one in with your basket of herb butters and infused oils and vinegars. And
you know, just a little added extra. Or like in the picture, you've got like it looks like kind of like a centerpiece that you can make for your Christmas table. And add, you know, some pine cones. I mean, things you can actually go pick up out of your yard. If you have magnolia trees, magnolia leaves are beautiful when you put them in a centerpiece. Or, and I don't know what they're called, but I know they're down here in South Alabama. It's some kind of greenery that has red berries on it. Now, I don't think it's edible necessarily. I don't think at all. But that's something else. You can clip off just things out of the yard and make a beautiful centerpiece that is fragrant and smells like Christmas.
Yep. And I have some white camellias that would look real pretty with those oranges too. So that's given me a lot of ideas. But I'm like you, Taryn, I used to do this with my grandmother. And so that was, and I look back on it now and it's like, she totally did that just to get me out of her hair while she was decorating for Christmas. But, you know, it's a memory that I love and that I think of. And I remember making like, you know, little heart designs or smiley faces or just stuff like that. And when it's just so fun, and it smells wonderful, and it does keep for a while too.
It does. So you make them, you know, in the month of December, they'll keep all the way through Christmas. And then once your oranges start to kind of look like they're on that, you know, that road to maybe needing to be composted, and this is the next slide, I believe, there's something you can do with these beyond that. Ta-da! Ta-da! Stovetop potpourri. And so I do this every year, and this is something my mother did as well. So carrying on, I guess, a Christmas type tradition. And so as opposed to going out and buying the sprays that you spray around the house or lighting a bunch of candles, which, I mean, I love a good smelling candle, but this is something else that's really easy, inexpensive, and completely all natural. You just need a stovetop pot. Any kind of cooking pot will do. Your citrus peels and slices. So if if you're like me and you buy a bag of citrus every time you go to the store, or, you know, we have neighbors that have citrus trees, and it's all in season right now. And our neighbors are putting out buckets out on their, you know, front walkways for the neighbors to come and get what they'd like. And so the citrus is abundant right now. So save your citrus peels, or even when your pomanders start to kind of lose their gusto, you can even put them in there. So all you're going to do is just fill your pot with water, and there really is. I mean, we've got 3 to 4 cups of water. You really just want to have enough water in there because you're going to simmer this. So you just want enough to where it's just not going to simmer out or boil out. And it depends on the size of your pot too. but you're just going to add your citrus peels, your water, cinnamon sticks or powder, nutmeg, allspice. I think that's and I always say it wrong, star anise, that's on the top of the picture there.
Yes.
They are,
Yes.
yeah, they're very fragrant. Allspice, any of those spices. And right now during the holidays, most of your stores have those in big, huge displays or bins because everybody's baking and cooking and things like that.
Right.
So they're easy to come by. And you just add those in your pot, put it on your stove, and you know, make sure you stay attentive to it. I wouldn't turn it on and you know, go out to work in the garden or anything, but something you can put on while you're cooking or wrapping presents, and you can continue to add water. My pot actually sits on the stove for most of the year, and I just keep adding, I mean, most of the season, and I just keep adding water as needed, and citrus peels as they kind of break down, and you would not believe the smell. It makes your entire house smell like Christmas.
Yes, and Tawana wrote that she's done this before, and I have too. And it's really great. You put on some Christmas music, and you put this on the stove, and it just gets me in the mood to wrap presents because that's not one of my most favorite things to do. But this really puts me in that Christmas spirit and gets me, you know, kind of inspired to wrap those presents and get it, you know, get that chore done. So, you know, it's just so nice. But yeah, we do want to make sure that you monitor it. Don't let the water boil out of it or simmer out of it. And always remember to turn it off if you ever leave the house. So
yes, and this is something you can also give as a gift. Again, in a mason jar or an old pickle jar that you've saved. It beautiful presentation. You're just going to fill it with water. Put your citrus in there. You can put some cinnamon sticks in there. And just, I mean, it can make a beautiful presentation. Put a bow on it. Attach a little card that says Stovetop Potpourri. Just, you know, simmer on stove and you're good to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another thing that you can add to this ultimate mega gift basket that we've just made for a very, you know, very cost effective, very budget friendly, easy to find stuff. So, and I do want to say, the whole cloves, you can find those at the grocery store in the spice section, right? I think that's where I've always found them. So, you know, again, there you go, right there. So they're very,
in your spice section.
Yeah, they're just very easy to find. You know, it's just, these are just such great ideas. And they're, you know, a lot of these, you know, like the pomanders and the potpourri, they bring back such good memories for me. And I know for other people. So, you know, we just, you know, we wanted to be able to give everyone some fun ideas, some great stuff to do. And Taryn, thank you so much. These are just such great ideas. And you're actually inspiring me to do some stuff. So the kids are out next week you know, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before the Christmas Eve and Christmas. I've actually got some ideas of things to do with them and keep them occupied. So this is just great. Again, folks, we are going to be putting all of these slides in the comment section on the Facebook page of this broadcast, right? And just shortly, right after we finish. And, you know, I want to thank Taryn again for this great show that you've developed with me. And we are going to be getting ready to start again. I think it's the second Monday in January. I can't remember that date right now, but we're gonna.
I can't remember. I mean, I can't think about anything right now except for the next 2 weeks.
I can't think past this hour. So you're doing better than I am. Yeah. So I want to say it's the 11th. We're looking at January 11th coming back, and so we've got some great stuff coming up for you guys. Stay tuned to AARP Alabama's Facebook page because we'll be putting things up like what's coming on what's growing on in January. We've also got some really exciting things, some cooking shows going on, some more fitness, some more of our Wisdom Wednesdays. So we're just really looking forward to 2021 being bigger and much better than 2020. But Taryn, I want to thank you again so much for joining us, and I hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you have a fabulous new year, and we are going to see you again in January. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dorothy. It's always a pleasure and always so much fun. And same to you and to everybody else out there. And I hope everyone has the happiest and healthiest of holidays.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, again, I've got Terrence's email address scrolling at the bottom. If you have show ideas, if you have questions about gardening, please email her, let her know. We'd love, love, love to get your ideas. We'd love to put them on the show. And so before we go, I want you to stay tuned. We're going to have a real quick video, and I want to remind everyone to join us for Yoga at Midday today on Facebook and YouTube. So again, thank you, Tara. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Same to y'all. Bye.